at point blank range more so than anything else, like with a million craft. But I kind of feel like the S1s and the Auroras are just so fucking good against them now. So
We haven't really seen anyone run a cap fleet, save for the first half cap, and those had defenders in it.
Yeah.
I ran a cap
Yeah,
fleet.
you did. There's two, like, mostly cap build, yeah. On 112.
I think that was your cap fleet.
Yes, V-bound CLs, they're defenders too, but they also have rebounds.
I just took one of Small Cake's old Torp Corps fleets and slapped a bunch of defensive S1s on them, and they fared pretty well. I don't know that I like shot down many kudos with them, but I want to run it again. It wasn't tuned how I like it, so.
Look at this ANS team count. 4
Boy.
levies, 3 CL, like 9, 8 corvettes.
Gotta push the boundaries. Gotta go spam those carriers.
We're gonna see some craft today.
OSP better brought their defenses.
They brought a journeyman and a moorliner.
Yeah.
Those are some Auroras.
Or levy ANS. This is not going to go well.
The moorline has 48 barracudas.
Like, I mean, the big goal that we're like aiming for is that you don't have to bring 9,000 points of carrier to beat 9,000 points of carrier.
It's my opinion.
You
That's
certainly-
to be achieved, but we'll see.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. Well, so that's what we want to prove. You know, it's good they're spamming carriers.
Well, you want to prove what's actually happening. That's how you, because your ways, that's how you get bias, maybe. You deceive what's actually happening.
You prove hypothesis.
Yeah, well, you see, I like pretty much run Neb in my brain, so I don't actually need to play the
Sorry,
game.
I've run 10,000 simulations of pillars.
every second.
Yeah.
Nick has committed a fatal error.
Nick. What Nick do?
What's
Look
that?
in the,
Test
look in
Brunch?
the,
No
look in
need.
the
I've already
cantos.
calculated the outcomes in my mind.
Exactly.
Just disconnecting it when the game starts and say, hey, I already won this.
Join the lobby and then Alt F4.
Sorry, I talked over with someone though. Please go.
Look in the Nick's cantos.
Looks inside. No gun ammo.
What?
Oh shit.
20mm found.
Wait, but it's in the
You just noticed.
It's in
No,
the mags.
it's the thing where like if you add the nose gun after something, it doesn't auto check the.
Yeah, you
the-
have
Oh
to
no,
click
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
There are still 4 carriers, though, that being said, so.
We
Is
can't
it-
afford gun ammo.
Need to
Craft
put
design has
something-
the craft design has a ton of missiles though, so it might not even need the gun.
I mean, with one shotting, yeah, that'll definitely help.
This is so sad.
I mean, Wolf, from what I'm hearing, the FBUs need to go faster, and their speed currently is 200. And
Can
I
you
did
use
say
the
that they
FBUs
should be
against craft?
400, so
Yeah, I think higher speed is fine.
Do they need more higher exposure radius, or are we fine with it right now?
well, they're not hitting anything, so it's a speed issue more so than anything, apparently.
Roger.
Can FPUs be used against craft?
No, because Tontos were impaling themselves on their own FBUs.
Damn.
And those were getting outskilled.
Outskilled by themselves.
Committing honorable seppuku.
Oh, Wiz has nose eliminators. No, they're pots. Never mind.
Slamming these gaps. Uncontested. What speed is still like all the way like in their deploy.
Yeah.
Which is a bit bizarre. I'm surprised they're pushing up now, but shouldn't they have been pushed up harder? Huh.
Yeah, they should have been. I mean, they should have been positioned to deny A,
They need
but
to take the good rock.
Ooh. Splinter Squadron just got ruined by 3 S1s.
I love that S1s are good now. Well, they were already kind of good. I was already barfing 40 of them at a time from the shuttle to kill 7
Bastion
tacos.
shuttle. Now this is a reason to bring back Torp Vets, Bastion shuttles.
Yeah.
SDMs, but you have to pay an extra 1 point for the base hull cost, and now you're allowed to load normal frag.
Oh. Blinded by that.
Everyone just running act ACMs.
Lots of command ACMs. I've been seeing. Nice.
Yeah, we're what's launching these? Oh, they're in the shuttles.
No, it's these fucking. It's these skiffs with SDM1s.
The bullwhips are in the shuttles, in Kroger shuttles.
Skiffs with SDM1s, you know that is an unkillable sensor platform.
They're the
Oh no,
advanced
they
ones,
aren't.
too.
They have two 35 mil. That isn't a sensor platform. They're just like combat.
There's like heavy fighters or whatever.
It's funny.
They are the advanced radar skiff with 4 command lunges.
Yeah,
So it takes more than 4 kudas.
Yeah,
Can you mount 2 guns with the advanced radar package?
No, it
Like,
just says it's a flight of 2 though, so it says 2 times 30.
Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, please ignore me.
Yeah, it's okay. I think the C90 nerf could be slightly reverted.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand because it's like it punishes using craft the way you should, which is using them to cover your frontline assets.
Yeah, I guess. Hell cringe breadstick.
The jargon. They're combining.
Into singularity.
The hell stick.
The jargon Voltron.
Red cringe.
What the fuck?
Did you see the tech stick that we made?
No. Oh, the BCAP!
Tech stick is so stupid. It's just a EO decoy, cluster decoy SDM2.
Well, but why?
It's tech, dude.
It's tech.
What? Why?
This is tech.
You are seeing a lot of tech on this game. Lots of Bastion shuttles.
Look at all these hell spreads.
Dude,
I don't think these are actual breadsticks.
What? What am I looking at? Oh, they're running out of range.
We're looking at them run out of fuel before they get too quiet. What? Okay, let's come with this monitor, right? Oh my god, the quad talisman monitor. That's kind of cool.
I've invented the damn breadstick and I have no idea what the fuck that is.
That's awesome. I like that.
Based?
Like, he could almost, like, kill a Sprinter just firing regular S2s out of that. There might be other spectators.
I don't
'cause it's kinda
think
like
the specs really change
performance is
anything.
limited.
Definitely the spectators, and not the fact that there's 30 craft on each side.
Yeah, I guess. So many fucking streams. These guys at least got coming now. And a lot of S1s.
The enemy secured zone boxer.
Noak is cooking something. I don't know what. But they're cooking up a Giga plate.
It's probably the combination of the craft and the spectators.
Yeah.
Because each craft needs to be sent to each spectator over the network.
Yeah, I think because the TDI actually, well, I guess it is bad.
It's these missiles being sent from this stupid monitor. Yeah,
Man,
extremely-
fucking Coil Tantos, what the f-
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is breadsticks. Like, 35 can almost shoot down breadsticks. Like,
It does. I've watched
Yeah.
it happen.
yeah.
Okay.
So, like, you need like how many like you need about as many SDMs as Tantos to like force them all to evade and then kill them with SDMs.
Yeah, I think it's about half actually. It depends.
Half?
There's a
Okay.
breakpoint. There's like a breakpoint because like I know with 24 Tantos, even 12 SDM2s causes them to like if they're Naganatas where they just stage on top of them, like they actually can't shoot them down. You might shoot down like one or two, but you have to like force the flight to shoot the SDMs, and you can't do that with every single missile.
Yeah, it's also why that the like Kuda nut where it like where they dump all their SDMs are so effective because they launch all at once.
Yeah.
We're getting to see that right now. Oh, I guess against Kudas.
If it wasn't for how many fucking Tantos there are.
All the Tantos.
And the big thing is, like, there's triple CL. There's nothing that can deal on the ANS besides the carriers that can deal with a monitor cello blob. So what is the monitor cello blob doing? They're maybe taking alpha, please.
Yeah,
I
they
wanna
might
bring
not-
up-
They might not know that like there's nothing on ANS as far as the frontline goes.
Well, if you know there's 6 gang carriers, you know there's no front line once you see the Cat fleet.
You know, there's no well, cap fleet, 2 double carrier, like.
Where's this kid?
Also, I want to bring up those Kudas might have been able to run away, but instead were suicided. If they went on to evade,
Yeah, I don't know why Offensive Flight is also going in here. That seems very ill-advised.
against coils, yeah. I was gonna like the Kudas can just straight up outrun Tantos. You're not encouraged to take any fight you don't want.
Oh, Aurora's from the Corbo. Won't be enough, little thing. All the jamming. Bones.
Rest in peace, the SDM monitor.
The Hellstick monitor.
Hellstick.
The DDT Winchell. Hellstick monitor.
Windshell is a good name.
And they're just gonna hit him with the wake frags just for the measure. I think he launch size on this as well.
That one DC team.
Just
Poor fuckers.
like yeah, like the OSB might not know that there's only like one front line because all the Corvettes are in the back, so they haven't really done much like cap gaming. Awkward for monitors, I guess. If they get their teeth in the light boosts, they're on the same side of the map. Somebody claim our flights, oh my god. Yeah, there's 14 claymores just hanging out.
$50 damage per ray.
Hmm?
50 damage per ray
Oh,
from the
the
frag.
FBU.
Yeah, I'm joking. That would be so busted.
They can't pen anything other than tugs, right? Well, I guess it can pen LNs right now, so maybe that would be fucked. But
Yeah, it would be fucked.
I originally suggested 40, so like
Oh, actually?
yeah,
What would that break?
only reinforced components on tugs and shuttles. Oh, actually, it has to be higher. It can't match, right?
Yeah, it's beat, so it would break.
Yeah.
It would break RDCs, but it wouldn't break RMAG or RCIC.
Yeah. And it's also just there to like make it so that ray splitting isn't as effective, because like having higher damage, like if you split between two components, you're dealing 20 instead of 15 or 30. So. Because I do suspect that the ray splitting is having a really big impact on their ability to actually kill stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
do
it's
we
both
want
the
them to
raise-
actually? Sorry, go on.
It's both, you know, the rays being split across a wide area, and also like, you know, they can't DT break a lot of stuff, so a lot of the rays get swallowed by the damage threshold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Quinto.
Do we want them to be killing stuff, or do we want them to be like something that cripples and then you follow up with KBUs?
Well, I mean, the whole idea is that this just like replaces spam toe, and it's spam toe except you can't kill mainline combatants with it. So, I mean, spam toe can kill shuttles, right? So therefore, FBU should probably also be able to kill shuttles.
Well, I think spam toe goes like so far beyond like what it needs to do though. As
Sure,
far as
I get that,
I
but
think we
also
should
like
be trying to equal it with what we're replacing it
Yeah.
with.
Spam toe in general.
So,
yeah, I get
so
what
why,
you mean. Yeah, but
I mean,
like
why can't it be
if they're
R1?
bad, then
Because
Sorry?
faction differences.
Sorry, it doesn't have to be exactly R1s, but like the equivalent where here is a light strike option that does not kill capitals. Like,
well, that's what this is.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think spam toe is just a very divisive word, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't have to be like, crazy like spam toes, but if it's like not good, then people will just, attempt to spam toe anyway, right? And they won't bring the FPU, so.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother with them anyway, because you're telling me that it has a bomb loading time, and it's specifically only good against 20 CMs or less. So it is just true light strike. If I take spam toes, or better yet, I just take KBUs and I like micro properly. If they don't have PD, I guess this is what it was. But if you just took KBUs and micro properly and make sure that you're attacking from the right angle, you literally can do the same thing without any hang up.
I don't think that you're gonna find you're able to do that anymore with something with flak. Especially like, okay, if you're trying to shoot like a capital ship with K-15, like yeah, that makes sense to me. But doing it against like a shuttle or a tug, trying to bomb it with K-15 at like point blank range is very dangerous.
It depends if it's top and bottom, because if it's that, then at that point I'd just prefer spam toe over firing 15s with 15 level HP, but RPF. It's like, what's the point of that? Unless you're taking like one, maybe.
Well,
in your
the big
loadout.
the big thing with spam toes now is that the illuminators are 10 degrees, so the shuttle can just like drop a EA-12 and like move quite a lot inside of the cone, and it's like never gonna get hit.
So that's fair. But the shuttle wants a bastion on top and bottom, so that way you're completely covered. And it also wants a turret, so that way it's armed. And you don't have room for a chaff box.
Why do we want 2 bastions?
If you want top and bottom, that way you can avoid, unless you're microing and rolling, I guess.
That's called
not-
being a switch.
So you're saying to deny like other strike options like KBUs.
You would, if you wanted
FPUs
to deny
certainly,
KBUs,
but you
you
would
would
just
want
micro.
bastion.
Yes, I understand. I was just trying to understand where the double bastion came from.
The thing about getting FBUs to work from like, I don't know, let's say 2,500 to 3 kilometers, the max range, like R1 don't work that fucking far out. You have to get inside 2 km to hit anything with R1.
Yeah.
Consider.
I think
What if we
maybe
just
if R1
gave them
damage was enough-
reskinned R1?
No!
Skip it.
They don't have to be reskinned. They can definitely perform the same role without being like.
I've been asking for Tonto R1.
Rebound defending against KBUs, guys. We're seeing it. It works, I think. That's pretty good output. I like that.
Yeah, it's really good output for 15 points.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure about the price, to be honest, but
Hey, dude, people were telling me it's not gonna be enough.
yeah, well, it's almost a Stonewall. It's between 1 and 2 RCC rebound.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
one
really
RCC
good.
and 1 AE for free.
That's really good.
I was
Yes,
gonna
it's
say,
really good.
it's wild. It means that you can
Working-
bring it on sprinters and not be throwing with rebounds.
This is based on what the monitors are doing. I'd just like to say, both carriers getting like engaged at the same time on either team.
Yes. I think I saw my first ever plasma levy today.
I'd love to see CBU work actually for anti-swarm. For OSP at least, like the only thing you would do before is chuck a bunch of R1 CUDAs at it, but like that's not. No spam CUDA anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, you can kill swarms with R1s as long as it's just vets.
But who's bringing tons of R1 CUDAs?
Yunter.
And CUDA's kind of dead.
I mean, I do. I still think it's useful for killing corvettes.
I am
I just
good.
bring sturgeons now as well.
I am gonna miss the RBU, because you can just straight up hit smirkers with it if you have enough, like 6 or so.
Is the RBU gone for
Kudos.
both factions?
Yeah.
Yeah, RBU was pretty good.
It was niche. Like you could run
Not
it
3
in-
points good, but good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought it was locked to OSP. I was gonna say, what if it got a little cheaper for OSP specifically?
No, I think Getting rid of it was maybe a little hasty.
Are these 20 mil Tantos? Or are they RTB?
They are just trying to get these bombers.
Oh, yeah.
And these funny little fellas in the pikes are gonna get them.
Tantos need to attack the pikes. I don't know why they're not.
This-
Well,
engaging.
pikes are better relatively now than they were before, because now everyone's getting one shot. Like, by everything.
I also, that fucking PTV sauce pike spam, I went back to that.
The SDM
If only they had an
bombers.
FCR, they'd. If they only
They-
had like an FCR, they'd like kind of dominate.
Dude, it doesn't make any sense why they're so good. Like, they're really good in ASF rolls for no reason. I can't explain it. Like, for some reason, they're able to
Isn't
hit
it-
with the 20 mil.
Isn't
Although,
it because
actually-
of their maneuverability and their...
Yeah, their speed, their
Something to do
maneuverability.
with that, yeah.
Because remember in parry testing when the like Tanto had higher combat speed than the Barracuda and they were just absolutely obliterating, like the Pike has higher
Yeah.
combat speed, so yeah, if it did have an FCR, it would obliterate in gunfights.
You can't use the EO ball as an FCR, right? Can it?
No, it cannot.
Damn it.
Well, the one thing that I do miss is 200 meter per second pikes.
Oh, man.
200 meter per second fight. We had that for like a week. What do you mean?
I think we had that for a day, but it was great. I loved it. I think we should have that again.
I mean, we loved it. Was it good for the game?
I mean, everyone else, pikes couldn't do anything then, so it didn't really matter. It's like, oh. Just have this scout plane that flies around at Mach fuck and then does nothing for the rest of the game. So.
Mach fuck.
That's what it was like. Like, you just had these little things flying around, and they had directional radar, so they couldn't actually see anything.
Look, all I'm saying
This
is
is
your life
also-
expectancy is about being a CIA spy plane fucking flight op going over the Soviet Union.
This is the current meta, bro. We played like 2 games.
So
We've already
this
found
is
the current meta. This
meta.
should work.
Ah, yes. 2 games in, current meta discovered. Okay, GG.
I have
I guess-
no idea what the current meta is, and
We
I've been
solved it,
confused for
folks. We
months.
can go home.
I guess like it is the current meta in the sense that no one knows what the fuck they're doing. So
Those are always the best metas.
those are always the best
I'm getting
metas.
concerned. ANS has won every game today, guys.
Wait, what do you mean if OSP had C90 bombs still? They still
I
have
assume they mean
bombshell?
before when
Fucking
bombshell could
crap.
hurt.
We're
Craft.
fucking-
Oh, right.
Bombshell
Yeah,
is-
that's something
was-
I
that's
don't know why
been like.
bombshells are
good
so hard.
against craft. Like, it punishes
Yeah.
you for literally doing what you're intended to do with the craft, which is escort your allies.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's not just a punish, it's a hard punish. It takes your Tantos, it takes all the points you put into him completely, because the bombshell will always wipe out 1. You're firing 4 of them. The splash, it's dead.
True.
You've completely opened up the BB. Whatever Tanto wing is close enough might be able to respond, but they can just turn the monitors onto bombshell and vaporize it to literally clear the way for escortless bombers.
Yeah, it did just vaporize escorts.
It
That's the one
just
that angered me.
kills Santos. Like, that was not particularly healthy for if you want other roles for fucking Tantos.
Yeah, you're right. I just like deleting blobs with it.
I mean,
Hey,
TLS SDM nut does the exact same thing to escort Kudas.
So, I mean,
Yeah, and
ANS,
it also costs like
Fuck ton more.
way more. Yeah.
I get 1 point for
Very fair,
25
very-
shots of bombshell, and I have to put. I put 100 shots of bombshell into each of these fucking SDMs.
so ANS had more fighters. They deplaned the enemy carrier, and then
Can I ask,
Fuck
did
the,
anybody on OSP A bring flak and B bring command S1s or no?
Yes.
they died to torpedoes mostly.
Yes,
Like,
there were
turbo
command
torpedoes.
S1s on certain picket craft, and they did
Yes, there were.
exceptionally well at killing Tantos.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
they
Thank
fixed
you
that.
for
Yeah.
that's good. So it's mostly things just dying versus torpedoes from
Yep.
bombers, right?
Yep.
Okay, well that's excellent. Fucking mission accomplished.
Corb had command S1s on his 2 shuttles. They
And
got expended and they died. I think he killed like 10 Tantos with them though.
I mean, to be fair, the entire investment of breadsticks was expended for like nothing into fighters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funny little monitor.
Yeah, they needed to hold fire until they were much closer to
I
actually
I
do
mean,
anything with that.
we played a double carrier fleet game the other day where fucking Snipes was saying, "Oh, the only way to beat this is with more carriers," and we fucking won against it. So I don't believe that more carriers is the answer here. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, let's keep increasing plane count. You know, let's.
Well, the issue is the FPS more so than anything.
Yeah.
Like, I actually do think that all the tools necessary for defeating plane spam exist now. It's just that, like, no one wants to play at 2 FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should all. Well, I might make like a balance Agora thread or something where people can throw this shit in the feedback over some the public test channel. I'll make it. What's the Safari score on them? That's most fun. Hunter, earlier today we saw several Corvettes with over 100 kilometers. That's a good Safari score.
Nice.
How well did the monitor do?
Monitor ball, kind of.
The Talos monitor. How many hits did it actually get?
He had one intercept across 40 missiles.
Oof.
Alright.
That was rough.
Yeah, I saw
That was
Grape
really
killing a lot of fighters, even if I only had 4 turrets.
Yeah, Grape is definitely the next best OSB anti-fighter after any kind of like a mag-based thing like missiles.
Yeah, but missiles doesn't work when there's 15 coil tantos.
Yeah, you definitely need SDMs and a lot of them. Like that would have worked. You would have been able to cut through coil tantos like that with that amount of throughput if you had SDMs. But the breadsticks are just so slow that they're very easy pickings.
A lot of those also just ran out of range. Like, you can't be using
Yeah,
S2
I think I
ACMs.
picked the wrong missiles, honestly.
You can't be using
I
S2 ACMs against
but
the
I thought they
Tantos.
were SDMs, so yeah.
Were those
Large
coil
shell on a
tantos?
container
Or
ammo,
20 millimeter?
so it takes 3 Tanto shots.
Yeah, at least you can drain their ammunition with containers. My bad. I picked a downloaded fleet and just multiplied all the missiles.
You
So
would have downloaded fleet.
yeah.
Yeah, most of those SGM2s just ran out of range.
Yeah, I know. I thought they were slow, but there were so much lag, so I didn't think of it.
The FPS in that match was really unbearable. I hope I never play another match like that again.
And that was just 9k. Sorry, maybe 10k of total carrier. Like, there's 24k in the game.
Something like that.
That's tough. That's so like. Are 3 carrier fleets like ever like intended to be a design goal or?
Guessing not.
The Moorline, yeah, that's supposed to be like a 3k carrier.
Sorry, like more than one, like 3,000 points of carrier on each team. Like, is that's when the game grinds to a halt. More than that.
Yeah, and that's like the gentleman's handshake agreement we have on pubs. Like, I don't know, is there?
We
a way
have
you can
11k of carriers here.
Total in game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total in game. So that's almost half of the total points were carriers. Like, is the game built around that? Is like,
I don't think so. I mean, as like technically, no. I think balance-wise, I guess that just means everyone has to go to carriers, which is probably not ideal.
Yeah, like both sides have the option to spam unless they're caring about performance.
There was also the matter that in test branch when we were testing like months ago, carriers were in a state where if you didn't bring enough front line, you just get plowed through. So I don't think like people were aware that you could bring four levies, but they weren't good for a long period of test. So therefore,
that's because we had Giga 100 flak. Like
Yeah,
we had, and RPF was really good. We had tools that were affordable for the front line to bring that could zone large quantities of craft easily.
Yeah, but that makes carrier
And we've
play
removed all of those.
Wow,
Flak's been
quantities.
neutered, RPF's been neutered, Bombshell does nothing anymore.
Large quantities as well as small quantities.
Yeah,
It
it
just
had the
killed
problem of fucking
everything.
over small craft, but at least it prevented spam from being viable.
Well, I mean, the only way that you're using this shit is because it can be spammed. Like, that's just sort of the way it is. Like, you can't actually make it so that, unless you give craft, like, penades and shit, like, it's just not something that you can, like, make
If you
low,
have
low concentrations work.
If you have like set tools that are just kind of good against everything, you have to bring spam, because otherwise you have your eggs in about one basket, and if you look away for 2 seconds, because you have to, it's nebulous. The whole point of the game is that you're everywhere, or trying to be, and you can't be everywhere. No one has the micro that's good enough to do that. And then you lose your pristine fucking coil commands, whatever, Tantos. Bam. You just got neutered. Or you lose a bomber strike because one monitor was turned towards you and just deletes you with a bombshell.
Spam
Goodbye.
is redundancy, and redundancy is good.
Exactly.
To be fair, though, it's equally unfun to be playing a normal fleet into spam, and basically just the entire game is the carrier players get to have their way with you, and you don't get any say in it.
I agree.
Exactly.
My entire gameplay that game was, please let the Tantos not notice the tugboats sneaking around the
hide
map,
and seek
and they
is a
noticed
horror
them.
game for you. Yeah.
And might I add that although I was on the winning team, it was the same for me. Like, the 100 mil sturgeons jetting around the map, I knew that if a capper got found by them, it was over for that ship. And
the carry is
that's
the main
exactly
carry.
what happened. It was literally up to the carrier players to decide whether or not my cap fleet lives or dies. Straight up.
Well, I mean, you actually can do things to protect yourself against craft, so that's not entirely true. What is
Touché.
true about that is that you can try to bring enough stuff to defend yourself, and if your opponent brings multiple carriers, then yeah, eventually they're going to kill you, but that's kind of just the way the game is anyways. Like, everything works like that.
You just have to get like a good point trade like for the craft, but I feel like the issue is that you have to bring something that's good against craft, and it's usually not good against anything else.
So here's a question. I'm not a very good cap fleet player, but I'm sure there's some of them in this room. So could somebody who is, if possible, highlight a cap fleet that is really effective in its normal role and also can defend itself enough from large numbers of craft that it's like viable?
Okay, I can
Everybody all
post
at
a
once.
fleet that did this in the tournament.
All right, cool.
I think
Still
also
hell
just-
died, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah. A size 1 like command, I think it's like 3 warhead size blast frag.
yes.
Yeah, those
or
are just really
or
good.
size 4, because then you can like for OSP you can use the size 4 warhead and it's good against craft, and it also can multi-roll against missiles as well. The size 4
Gotcha.
command S1s are really good right now. I actually think that is what you have to use if you want to really insulate yourself. Flak is obviously really good, but like the ability to actually kill the Tantos is the command S1 with the size 4 warhead. And then same
Got
with
it.
Kudas too. Like with Kudas, it's just the same thing.
I mean, I had a bunch of size 3 warheads, which they aren't size 4s, but there were no hybrids in play this game, so it's not like the extra warhead mattered, and it didn't matter. Like, I killed 3 Tantos, congrats. The rest of the 21 in that wing are going to kill your capper.
How many missiles did you have?
I had like 10 per ship.
Okay, and you fired 10 at a wing of 21 and only killed 3?
I think some of them got fired at the missiles, but like, and even then, like that protects you against Tantos, but it does nothing to stop the Claymores that have free reign of the map because all the Tantos are preventing any OSP ASF from doing anything. Which like that's a 6K of carrier dedicated carrier versus 3K of dedicated carrier, but like it still sucks.
It's carrier escalation. Once you win the air war, then your heavy strike can just do whatever they want across the entire map, and all the Tantos then just become chaff for the Claymores. They just absorb STMs. Like you literally have to, basically the Tantos and fighters become more of an equation of, do you have enough STMs to literally kill 200 craft? And most teams don't. And if you do bring that much, then you probably will lose if we just swapped over to 15 monitors.
Well, I don't think there's really much use in saying, well, you could have just done this, because, like, yeah, you could have just brought 15 monitors to begin with and probably roll, like, 90% of teams that you play against with that. So, like, 15 monitors and a single carrier is extremely hard to fight. It doesn't matter what you bring. As long as there's, like, some sensor assets, for instance. Like...
Hot take. What if both 100 Flak and RPF had their, like, detonation range increased, but then damage slightly lowered against craft? So for small amounts of craft, getting blasted by a T-30 line ship gives you time to react, but for large amounts, you're able to essentially clear a large wing just as fast as you can clear a small wing, and it prevents them from just hanging around out in the open like they were that game.
Well, I guess it depends.
Then you still
how
run
fast
into.
and how.
Well, like it's not. It's fast. It's fast enough that you feel the need to leave if you're getting shot, but it's not so fast that you get deleted if you weren't paying attention to that fleet when they started getting firing on.
Are we saying like a 3K of Sprinter Blob attrits it slowly, or are we saying like single?
I'd say you balance it around like one LN, like one T-30 LN is the DPS to balance the 100 Flak around, and one Vauxhall or like 4 frigates worth of RPF is what you balance the RPF DPS around. So that if you have 3 ships, like a full 3K, shooting these rounds at craft, they're going to die pretty quickly. But then at the same time, you're bringing, your wing of 12 Tantos against 3K of things firing anti-craft rounds at them? Yeah, they should die fast.
The thing with that is, like, it makes, like, if you're bringing bombers in, then you can't get your fighters to accompany your bombers, to make that 8 kilometer. I'd assume your torpedo range is 4 kilometers. You have to make it from 8 to 4. If the fighters can't survive past 6 kilometers, then you just get like free intercept past that.
Okay, and should the carrier have the tools available to reliably push across 8K of open space with bombers to strike something with 5 minutes of heads up time for the other side? You can sneak the bombers around rocks, you can get ambushes. I don't think you should just be able to forehead through a bunch of anti-craft fire across open space and get your strike off.
Yeah, I mean, so then that's just a balance change, because some fleets, like you're saying, like T-30 liners, they automatically, not only do they have their anti-ship, they're bringing them forward, but they automatically get all this anti-craft. Same with the Vauxhall. So should these ships just automatically be better because they carry these Omni weapons?
Well, I think there needs to be an option, not a dedicated anti-craft tool that works well against craft, because if it's a dedicated anti-craft tool, it just turns into a spending race on this thing that's useless outside of anti-craft. There needs to be dual purpose, and that's what we saw in test with the good RPF and good flak.
How is this any different than missiles?
I don't know. Your SDMs can't hurt ships. We removed the ability for HEI to reliably hit craft with the missile seeker
what I'm
error.
asking you're saying that the problem is that you have to spend these points on specific tools in order to kill craft. Well, how is that different than bringing it? People don't even bother bringing AMMs to fight missiles. They just try to chaff with cheap shit to not die to it and still die to it anyways. It's mostly about whether or not the missileer can line the missile up to hit you. I see people with missile fleets clearing entire lobbies exactly the same way with a single fleet, and no one complains about that. Why is multiple carriers bringing more fighters to kill people a problem, but that's not? when it's like literally the issue is exactly the same. It's just a problem of having, not the right tools that you need in order to beat it. And then when you bring those tools, if someone doesn't bring it, then you've just wasted points. Like there's literally no difference.
I think it's like a difference in, I guess, how it feels to be on the receiving end. Like a missile strike hitting you, it's like, okay, yeah, I didn't have enough PD. Like the craft strike, not only is it killing you just as well, but like it's also dropping your frames, and like it's, I don't know, it feels more obnoxious.
Craft are also way more precise. They can loiter. They provide sensors. You could pre-select targets on the fly.
Okay, the missiles they can miss the missile strike. You can't miss a craft strike.
But let's just like take this from the perspective of what it's actually doing. Okay, like I understand that there's certain things that are different about craft, but from my perspective, what I'm hearing is it's a lot more frustration with the gameplay itself rather than the actual outcomes of what is going on. Because like if like saying, oh yeah, like the craft can fly around and kill everything, it's like, well, like missiles do the same thing. Like I said, like, okay, it takes a little bit more skill to do that and you don't see it as often, but missiles do literally the same thing. And fighting craft, having the tools to fight them, like it's no different than defending against missiles.
Well, the thing is with like against missiles, right? When the missiles are in flight, you know that the threat duration is however long those missiles will get to you, and then after that, it's done. I can hold a Claymore or Sturgeon Wing outside of your PD range for 17 minutes and wait for the opening, and then kill you. Like,
well, what? Okay, but then that's 17 minutes where I can respond to you, and also